Welcome into the High Noon stream here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. This is the first of two streams we do each and every day here. The first one, High Noon. That's what this is. This comes on every noon, high noon, appropriately named, high noon until whenever we finish. Typically, I shoot for 2 hours, but we see how long it goes. It depends. Then we come back and we do another one, a second stream every Monday through Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We call that Pugs and... No, I was going to say last night it was Pugs and Kelly. We call that Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. It's myself and James Parker. And on Mondays, my former partner Kelly joins us. So on Mondays, it's Kelly Moore Mondays. You can hear all of the replays of those shows. And last night's Pillow Talk, heck, that's up there right now. Just go to pugscast.com. Pugscast.com will take you to our YouTube page, show you everything that you need to get all caught up. So there you have it. Okay. Hi, April. April's in the chat room. Hold on. Let me switch over the chat. I got to do a couple of housekeeping things here. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you, April. April, how was the stream? I just got a little alert that popped up that said that we were having trouble with the stream, that the stream was a little bit... Am I moving? Am I freezing? Am I, buffering? How's it going, April? How's it look? Anybody in the chat room? Is it seem to be all right? Where are we at? Bar? Now we're at full strength. There we go. The bars just went all the way up to full strength. It glitched for a second. Okay, good. It seems to be back. Good. It wasn't just, in other words, not good that it glitched, bad that it glitched, but good that it's back to green now. All right. All right. So here's the deal with today. And I realized this putting this together. We are in what is known in the biz. I don't know what biz that might be, but just in the biz in general. We are in the dog days of summer. What do the dog days of summer mean? Dog days of summer pretty much mean that, everybody that would normally be out there muckraking and creating stories and let's start a scandal and all that kind, they're all on vacation. Everybody's on vacation. There's like nothing that gets done this time of year. And it's going to be this way at least until the second week of August. I would say the second week, certainly we should expect to be completely back to normal as far as news consumption and all that sort of thing by the first week of September. But man, these are, to be sure, the dog days of summer. So let's get started with this dog day of summer. Let's run through everything that we can, and we'll just see how long it takes today. It is high noon on the 26th day of July, the 22nd year of the millennium. That's right, 2022. That would be this one. That's right. Okay, I was a little confused for a second. We are in the 100 and we're in the 207th day of the year. There are 158 days remaining until the end of the year. So as we like to say around these parts, get those New Year's Eve plans started. Let's go through some history. That's what we like to do on this show. We start out with all the historical things that happened on this day, what makes today so memorable, so notable, so whatever. We go into some birthdays. We look at the people who we love, who we hate. We look at notable people celebrating birthdays today. And then we like to finish that portion of the show up with deaths. Today, I'm going to stop you right there. No deaths today. There were no deaths today. I was scrolling through the deaths and I'm like, God love all the people who passed away, but they didn't really measure up. I'm like, so nobody really interesting that I can wax poetic on for about 3 minutes. Nobody has died. No, nobody died today, but that's okay because we pick up the slack with birthdays. Let me tell you something about today's birthday segment. We're going to get into the birthday segment as soon as we run through the history. Today's birthday segment, folks. Every day there's. I like to think that every day there's a birthday. You know what? Well, I did this on my birthday, July 20th. Remember, it's like who do I share my birthday with? And it was like all these celebrities, but I had designated one person to be like the most famous person on my birthday, and that's Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was born on July 20th, and it doesn't really matter what kind of celebrity you are. You're not going to be as big as Alex. Nobody is going to call you the Great. You know what I mean? So Alexander the Great wins today. Today, I don't know who wins today. Today, there are so many big name birthdays, so many huge contributors to our culture, to our world, to everything. Just big people. So we'll get into that. No deaths today. We're going to focus on the birthdays. But first, the history of this day, the 26th day of July. On this day in 1579, Sir Francis Drake, although it just says Francis Drake, so maybe he wasn't a sir yet. 1579, Sir Francis Drake, the English explorer, discovers a major bay on the western coast of the North American continent. A major bay. On this day in 1579, Francis Drake, he's walking through the woods, he's climbing through mountains, he's going up, he's going down. And then finally, he stands on the ridge and he sees the water and he's like, oh my God, look at this major bay. It was on this day in 1579 that Sir Francis Drake stumbled across San Francisco Bay. That's right. This day, 1579, Francis Drake. He didn't discover it either. I love this. Francis Drake discovers a major... he discovered it for white English-speaking people. That's what he did. He didn't discover the San Francisco Bay. There were people living there. There were cultures there. They didn't discover it. He discovered it for us. And maybe that's just a way of like us making ourselves feel better. Like there was, like we didn't know about it. Like the white European explorer was like, yeah, we didn't know about this. So obviously we've discovered it. No, you didn't know about it because you don't know everything. You didn't discover Dick. You stumbled across it. You went walking around in a place that you weren't from and you saw new things for the first time. You didn't discover it. When I go to, let's see, where have I never been? I've never been to Pittsburgh. But if I go to Pittsburgh and I stumble across Heinz Field, I'm not going to go, I've discovered Heinz Field for all the people who live where I live. No, that's not how it works. But at any rate, the first white English-speaking guy found San Francisco on this day in 1579. On this day in 1947, during the Cold War, U.S. President Harry S. Thompson signs the National Security Act of 1947 into law. What did the National Security Act of 1947 do? Well, it created the Central Intelligence Agency, created the CIA. It also created the United States Department of Defense. We had no Department of Defense? That seems like something we should have had from the get-go. The United States Air Force, yeah. Because remember, until that point, it had been the United States Army Air Force. The Air Force was just like a bunch of planes that the Army kept around. And then it was on this day that they went, nah, you know what? I think the planes need their own little group. Let's just put all the planes, let's create a whole new thing. Let's see, what else did they create? Oh, they created on this day in 1947, Truman signed into law the formation of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Joint Chiefs of Staff were not. Joint Chiefs of Staff they're the top guy in every branch of the military. And they all come together like that. The head of the Navy, the head of the Marine. I don't know if it's the head of the Marines. Is there a head of the Marines? Because isn't the Marines in the Navy? Wouldn't that be the same thing? I don't know. Army, Air Force, that kind of thing. So it's all of these. And then there's one guy who is the chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I don't know. Is that still a thing too? I don't even know if that's still a thing. Whatever. These are the military and defense advisors that gather around the president and tells him exactly what we can and cannot blow up at any given time. On this day also this was in 1948, but it is also U.S. President Harry S. Truman. Give him hell, Harry! Harry doing a lot of work on this day during his tenure as president. U.S. President Harry Truman signs the Executive Order 9981, which desegregated the military of the United States. On this day in 1948, the military was desegregated. I'm sure that went smoothly. I'm sure there were no issues with Southern boys from deep central Alabama having to sleep right next to a black dude for the first time. I'm sure that went swimmingly. Had to be done, though. It had to be done. On this day in 1971, let's jump ahead. 1971, the Apollo program, the launch of Apollo 15. Now, Apollo 15 is notable because, it's my birthday being July 20th and all, I have sort of a thing for the Apollo program. I have a thing for NASA in general, but specifically the Apollo program. This was a part of what was known as the J missions of Apollo, of the Apollo program. The J missions were designed, the first 10 or 11 Apollo missions were just, how do we get there and get back? How do we get there and get back? And then once we did that, they switched into what was known as the J missions of the Apollos, which was, what can we do up there? What are we going to do? And this is where we get all that video that we almost never see. We always see the one small step. We always see that. We see them bouncing up and down and waving in front of the flag and all that stuff. We see that. That's from Apollo 11. we rarely see the other stuff. Like we golfed up there. They threw a ball around up there. And on this particular mission, this is the mission where they brought the dune buggy. Huh? Right? Remember? You now think about it. You haven't thought about it in a long time because you're like, oh, that's right. We did put a dune buggy up there. That was on this day in 1971, the Apollo 15 mission. They put a lunar roving vehicle up there and they drove around up there. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, but we forget about it. But yeah, there are videos out there of dudes dune buggying on the moon. Let's see what else. On this day in 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act is signed into law by President Herbert Walker Bush. That's King George I. Herbert Walker Bush signed the American with Disabilities Act in 1990 on this day. This is ramps. This is why there are ramps places now when you go somewhere. This is why there are handicap parking spots everywhere. My 13-year-old kid, he questioned the validity of the handicap parking at Kroger the other day. He just wondered why there were so many handicap parking spots. What were they expecting was basically his question. He was how many handicap people at one time do they expect to show up here? Because the Kroger that we go to has easily 50 handicap spots, all right there in the front. It was a good question, but had to have a little talk to him about how we all have our shortcomings. We all have our handicaps, and we need to help each other. Oh, good father-son moment. He still didn't like the idea that we had to park all the way in the back. Because if you remember, I do that thing when I go to a grocery store. I park as far away as possible so that I can get my steps in. I got to get my steps in. I'm a fat middle-aged man. I got to somehow, I climb steps when I can. I'll walk. But he didn't want to walk because it was 104 degrees outside. And he's like, can't you just park there? I go, it's handicapped. Why do they got so many? And then we had a discussion. That was on this day. The American with Disabilities Act was signed into law by Herbert Walker Bush. On this day in 2016, Hillary Clinton becomes the first female nominee for president of the United States by a major political party at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. That was 2016. 2016 on this day. What was that? Do you remember that? Here's all I remember about Hillary's campaign in 2016. That damn song. She had a song that was her theme song for her campaign, and it's a terrible song. It's just it grates on me. And they played it constantly every time. Ladies and gentlemen, Hillary Clinton. And then the song would, and she'd come out waving. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Hillary Clinton. And then, I don't even remember what the song was. Oh, but it grated on me. You guys remember what that Hillary Clinton song was? Something about, I don't know. It was like a song that I think was like a minor hit somewhere. And then it, I don't know. Then she made it made it a hit. She made it omnipresent. It was everywhere. All right. So that's it. That's 2016. Hillary Clinton became the Democratic Party's nominee for president. Fun fact, she would go on to win that election. She got way more votes than the other guy. It's something that them Democrats have been dealing with for quite some time now. They've won the popular vote twice, by my recollection. Two popular vote wins. Didn't win the election though. Let's see here. Sorry, Dems. Births. Let's celebrate some birthdays. Born on this day in 1921, someone who I adore, died on this day in 1999. Yeah, he's been dead a while. Jean Shepherd. Jean Shepherd was born on this day. Did you guys know who Jean Shepherd? I don't know. Who's Jean Shepherd? Was she an actress? No, she's not her. First of all, it's a him. Jean Shepherd was a radio personality in New York City, and he had probably 50, 60-year career there. He was a really popular guy. But that is not what he is known to you and I for, because best of my knowledge, we've never lived in New York City. Jean Shepherd is the narrator of Christmas Story. You know Ralphie in the Red Rocket gun and Flick sticking his tongue to the frozen pole and the fragile Italian lamp that comes in the come on, Christmas Story. Of course we do. We all know Christmas Story. Jean Shepherd was the narrator, the guy who talked through that. He was so great at narration. Gene Shepard, born on this day in 1921. Born on this day in 1922, Blake Edwards, American director, producer, and screenwriter. Blake Edwards, probably most famous for the Pink Panther movies. He did the Pink Panther movies with Peter Sellers. And then he made a movie in the 80s. He was married to Mary Poppins. What's her name? Can't even think of her name. Julie. No. I don't know. Sweet, innocent, girl next door, beloved nanny, Mary Poppins. I don't know what else she played. I don't know. What was her name? You guys know her name? You guys in the chat room know her name. What's her name? She played Mary Poppins, for crying out loud. She's married to Blake Edwards. I could click the link, but I lean on you people for these kinds of in-moment help. Anyway, Blake Edwards made a movie in like the 80s, and Mary Poppins was his wife, and he made her get naked. It was like, hey, look, it's Mary Poppins boobs. Shocked a lot of people. I think that movie was called S.O.B. S.O.B. Julie Andrews. Thank you, Leslie. I knew somebody would come to my rescue. Julie Andrews. Yeah, Julie Andrews got naked in a Blake Edwards movie back in 1980. Born on this day in 1922, Jason Robards, another American actor. He died in 2000, but was born in 1922. Okay, so far I teased that we weren't, that we had a lot of big names in today's birthdays. And okay, so Gene Shepard, Blake Edwards, and Jason Robards aren't necessarily the big names that I promised. But how about this one? Here's the first one for contender of It's My Birthday, because I'm the biggest star celebrating a birthday today. Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick, born on this day in 1928, died in 1999. Stanley Kubrick, full disclosure, my favorite filmmaker of all time. And it's not even close. I mean, I guess maybe it's close with Scorsese, because Scorsese would be right behind him. And then possibly Tarantino. And then maybe Spielberg. Yeah, I don't know. I got a list. We aren't going to do. Here's what we're doing. We ain't going to do a draft of my favorite directors. I promise you that. Stanley Kubrick is my favorite director. But what we are going to do is we're going to do a Stanley Kubrick draft. Oh, that's right. That's right. The greatest filmmaker that I have ever enjoyed. Now, I understand that this is just my own personal opinion. But this guy made movies that after not every single one of them. I'll tell you about one of them then. But just about every single movie this guy made, actually there were two. There were two that I was like, okay, Stanley, can we spin you back on this plane of existence? Can we just, you've spun completely off of the world that we all inhabit, and you're doing some really weird. He did two movies like that where I was like, and I'll tell you what they are. But the Stanley Kubrick draft goes like this. With the first pick in the Stanley Kubrick birthday draft, the show High Noon with me, Pugs Moran, chooses with the first overall pick, the greatest film ever made, my favorite movie of all time, Dr. Strangelove. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Strangelove comes in with the number one overall pick. Dr. Strangelove would be my number one overall pick for a movie draft. If you just had a movie draft, just the best, your favorite movies of all time, Dr. Strangelove comes in at number one. Number two in the Stanley Kubrick draft, a movie that I saw and it changed my perspective on a particular performer who I had never really thought of as that great of a performer until I saw Peter Sellers in Stanley Kubrick's Lolita. Peter Sellers in Lolita. Now, I saw Lolita first. I don't even know how I saw it. I just saw it, and I was blown away by Peter Sellers, and I was like, wow, who directed this? And I'm like, Stanley Kubrick. Okay, that's that guy who did all this. I should probably look into some stuff. I was probably like 16, 17 years old at the time. So I went from Lolita directly into Dr. Strangelove, and that is where I just became... Look, I'll fight you. Peter Sellers is the greatest comedic actor of all time. Peter Sellers is so, and I'm not just talking about the Pink Panther, because that's what he's most known for, playing Inspector Clouseau. No, Lolita, Strange. Look, the guy being there, this is not a Peter Sellers draft. This is a Stanley Kubrick draft. So with the third pick in the Stanley Kubrick draft, A Clockwork Orange. That's right, A Clockwork Orange. So close. Clockwork Orange is so close to being with the other two Kubrick movies that I just don't get, that I just don't like. It's so close. It dances on the line of what the hell am I watching and Holy cow, is this the greatest thing I've ever watched? That is what experiencing Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange is like. I'm going to watch it with my kid, but he's 13. I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I think you got to be like in college to really appreciate A Clockwork Orange. So there you go. That's the third pick in the Stanley Kubrick draft. Number 1, Dr. Strangelove. Number 2, Lolita. Number 3, Clockwork Orange. Number 4, Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket. For my money, it's the best war movie ever made. Oh, I said it. That's right. Full Metal Jacket is, in my opinion, the best war movie ever made. Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket comes in at number 4 on the Stanley Kubrick draft. Number 5 in the Stanley Kubrick draft on this his birthday. Should have been higher because it's my favorite horror movie of all time. The Shining. The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Jack Nicholson. Ooh, red rum, red rum. There you have it. That's your Stanley Kubrick draft on today. What would have been his birthday. Dr. Strangelove, number 1. Lolita, number 2. A Clockwork Orange, number 3. Full Metal Jacket, number 4. The Shining, number 5. And can you believe? You better believe that we've got some undrafted free agents. We've got some best pictures. We've got some movies that won Oscars for best. We've got some big movies coming here in the undrafted free agents. How about The Killing? The Killing, Stanley Kubrick's first movie, black and white, so good. How about Paths of Glory? Another great war movie. That's coming in. That's being invited. Non-drafted free agent. And here you go. How about this one? Yeah, this one wasn't in the draft. This was not in, didn't make the top 5. That's how prolific Kubrick was. Spartacus. Spartacus comes to camp as an undrafted free agent. And I got to believe Spartacus is making the team. Also being invited to camp, a quirky player. A guy that seems to have something, but we're not sure what. Getting invited to camp, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's right. Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey gets himself a camp invite. Let's stop here for a second. 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of the 2 Stanley Kubrick movies that I have watched many times because I love Stanley Kubrick and I believe that I'm missing something every time I watch it. I don't get 2001. I'm done. I've tapped out on 2001. I don't get it. I've seen it 5-6 times. It makes no sense to me. At this point, it's not even cool anymore. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then it was like, nah, you know what? This isn't cool. This is just weird. So, but it's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Some people consider it one of the greatest films ever made, so it gets a camp invite. Also getting a camp invite, Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon was good. And the other Stanley Kubrick movie from 1999, Eyes Wide Shut. I don't get it. I've seen Eyes Wide Shut twice now. And honestly, the second time I didn't even watch. Eyes Wide Shut is, in my estimation, a terrible, terrible movie. But it's Stanley Kubrick. It's Stanley Kubrick, so it gets an invite. There you have it, your Stanley Kubrick draft. First round, Strangelove. Second round, Lolita. Third round, Clockwork Orange. Fourth round, Full Metal Jacket. Fifth round, The Shining. Happy birthday to you, Stanley Kubrick. How could anybody sharing a birthday with you on this day think that it would be anybody's day but yours? How? How could that be possible, Stanley Kubrick? You're a god in the world of filmmaking. Well, born on this day in 1943, Mick Jagger, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mick Jagger's birthday. Sorry, Stanley. I mean, I like you, Stanley. I'd have given you the vote, but Mick Jagger is much bigger than you. Mick Jagger, born on this day in 1943, still out there. How old is he? So that would be 60, 80, 77, 79. He's almost, so he is 70. Mick Jagger is 79 years old today, I think. I don't know. I was doing math on the fly. I could be wrong. He could be 89. Adam Reyna says, Eyes Wide Shut is the best way to watch that movie. Damn right. He also says, Dr. Strangelove is perfect parody. Don't Look Up was garbage because it hit you on the nose, therefore not parody. No. I disagree about Eyes Wide Shut. I think there were elements of parody. I think Eyes Wide Shut, or I think Don't Look Up was more of a satire. And I think that it's more analogous to what's happening today. It's not necessarily a parody, but I'll agree with you that Dr. Strangelove Dr. Strangelove is great. Although I wouldn't necessarily call Dr. Strangelove perfect parody. I might call Dr. Strangelove perfect satire. Perfect, but parody satire. It's a fine line. Also celebrating a birthday on this day, a big one. Helen Mirren. Oh, Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren is so awesome. Helen Mirren, man, she is still beautiful. Celebrating a birthday today. She was born in 1945. Helen Mirren still looks amazing. You ever seen those pictures of Helen Mirren back in like the late 60s, early 70s? Man, she was beautiful. And she was like she was one of those young British hot actresses of like 1970, 69, whatever. So she was like hanging out with like the Beatles and Mick Jagger. I bet you that Helen Mirren and Mick Jagger have celebrated a joint birthday at some place back in the day. 1971, Helen Mirren on her birthday probably went to Mick Jagger's birthday or vice versa. I don't know. Born on this day in 1951. Here's another big one. This is a big one. This is a really big one. Although he doesn't really count anymore. Happy birthday, Kevin Spacey. You don't count anymore. I was going to do a Kevin Spacey draft, but I figured, Kevin Spacey's best movie is Verbal, right? Where he plays Verbal in Usual Suspects. I think that's probably his best movie. Oh, man, but then there's American, what was that movie? American Beauty. Oh, he was good in that. Swimming with Sharks. Oh, if you've never seen Swimming with Sharks, even K-Pop. Oh, here I go. Look at me. I'm falling into a Kevin Spacey. Nope, no Kevin Spacey draft. Sorry. Celebrating a birthday today, born on this day in 1964. Another big one, a bona fide A-list Hollywood movie star, Sandra Bullock, celebrating her birthday today. Sandra Bullock, is she still A-list? I know that she's got a starring role in one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. My kid and I very excited to see the new Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock movie. Is it Atomic Train? Is that what it's called? Whatever, where Brad Pitt plays an assassin on a train. Very excited. Me and my kid, woo, we can't wait. We saw the trailer for that during the trailer for what was the movie we just saw? Oh, we just saw Nope. That's right. It was during the trailer for Nope. Me and my boy went and saw Nope, Atomic Train. God, that looks good. Sandra Bullock, happy birthday to you, Sandra Bullock. Also born on this day in 1965, a guy that I have a problem with. I know him a little bit personally from back in the day, and he's a dick. He's not a nice guy. He's an a-hole. He's a complete jerk. But man, did I enjoy him in one particular role. And oddly enough, the role that I enjoyed him in, he had to play a jerk. And he was complete. It is Jeremy Piven's birthday. Jeremy Piven, Ari Gold from Entourage. Man, he was good as Ari Gold. He was so good as Ari Gold. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, in real life, Jeremy Piven is an even bigger dick than Ari Gold. He's just not a nice guy. He's entitled. Here's his problem. This is how we deduced it in Chicago, because he was a Chicago actor who was fairly well known for doing a whole bunch of things. He comes from a very famous Chicago acting family, the Piven Theater Group. The Piven Theater Group turned out everybody from all the Cusacks. I want to say that John Malkovich went through there. Whole bunch of people, whole bunch of big actors were taught how to act by Jeremy Piven's dad, who runs a theater in Chicago. And Jeremy Piven's best friend for a whole bunch of years, like when he was in the teens and growing up in his 20s, was John Cusack. And John Cusack was a big movie star. And everywhere John Cusack went, people, especially in his hometown of Chicago, people were like, hey, it's Cusack. And they'd crowd him. And Jeremy Piven was always the other guy that was standing there. So he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He always felt like, well, my dad. This is me interpreting it. I always felt that it was like, well, it's my family who made John Cusack so famous. And why don't I get all this attention? He's a dick. Not a nice guy. Not a nice guy at all. I can go more in detail into the personal issue that I have with him, but why bother? Let's see here. Also celebrating a birthday. He's just a dick. We'll just leave it there. He's just a jerk. I was nice to him. He was on the radio. He was one way on the radio with us. And then as soon as we got done, he turned into an unbelievable dick. He was insulting. He was rude. He's just not. He's just not a nice person. Born on this day in 1967, another big movie star has a birthday today. One of my favorite current action stars, Jason Statham. I love Jason Statham. Jason Statham celebrating a birthday today, born in 1967. Jason Statham draft. No, we're not going to do a Jason Statham draft. Born on this day in 1973, another big birthday, another big celebrity, Kate Beckinsale. I love me some Kate Beckinsale. I don't know what it is about Kate Beckinsale. Ooh, how about that? She's beautiful. Yeah, that's probably the bulk of it. She is beautiful. But there's something like I don't see a lot of Kate Beckinsale movies, right? Like I don't know. I can't even name a Kate Beckinsale movie. Underworld, was she in that? I don't know. She does some movies where she like dresses in leather and kicks ass, and that's pretty good. And then in most other movies, she just plays like, a modern woman. I don't know. Look, I'm not up on Kate Beckinsale. I just know I like her. I just know that there's something about Kate Beckinsale that makes me go, yes, please. No deaths. Talked about that. We're not covering it. There was nobody that really. Nobody really got to me there with the deaths. So let's run through part 2 of what today's High Noon Show, whatever High Noon Show is, and that is let's get into all of the things that are trending. Pugs, do you know much about Vince Vaughn? I know a little bit about Vince Vaughn. What do you want to know about Vince Vaughn? I actually ran into Vince Vaughn when he was doing Swingers, when he wasn't Vince Vaughn yet. He was just an up-and-coming young actor. Oh, you know what? Actually, I also had a drink. Not a drink. That suggests that there was some sort of commiserating between me and Vince Vaughn. I was at a bar in Dallas about 15 years ago. It was on Lemon Avenue. I'm not sure what Lemon, but maybe it was a Lemon Bar. I don't know. But we were out and we had made our way to the bar. It's very crowded. We had made our way to the bar. So we were belly up at the bar because that's, if we can get a spot there, that's where we're going to stay because that's where the drinks are, right? You don't have to. So we were belly up to the bar. And then we noticed some other people were coming belly up to the bar. And then they were coming up right next to us. And one of my friends said, holy shit, that's Steve Nash. This is when Nash was playing for the Mavericks. And I'm like, oh, wow, it is. Oh, check it out. It's Steve Nash. Here we are in this, we're elbows to buttholes in this bar. And all of a sudden, right next to us, bellied up at the bar, seeming to be camping as we are. We're not leaving. We're staying there. It's Steve Nash. And then there's this other tall dude with Steve Nash. Oh, my God, it's Vince Vaughn. And then there was another dude with him. Oh, my God, it's Luke Wilson. So it was Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Steve Nash at the bar. And just because of the way it formulated, Vince Vaughn was standing right next to me at the bar. And he looked down at me. Big. Vince Vaughn is big. He looks down at me and he goes, hey, man, what's happening? And I'm like, hey, Vince, what's new? And he's like, just enjoying Dallas for a few days. And I'm like, very cool. And that was it. That was it. That was my interaction with Vince Vaughn. I thought he was nice. I thought he was much bigger in person than the Loon. That's it. That is it. That's it, Adam. You're right. It was the Loon. We were at the Loon. That's where we were. Very good pull there, Adam. He was very tall and he was very big. And I remember he was a lot thicker than I thought. When I think of Vince Vaughn, I think of tall and thin and all that. This was kind of a heavy set guy. This was a big heavy set guy in a flannel shirt. There you go. There's my one and only Vince Vaughn story. I'm just enjoying Dallas for a few days. All right, Vince. I called him Vince too. I called him Vince because, I just felt like I knew who he's Vince Vaughn. All right, let's get into what's trending today. Let's see here. First and foremost, Love Field. We opened up yesterday's show with the story about the shooting at Love Field that occurred just as we were going on the stream yesterday afternoon. Dallas Airport accused shooter has lengthy criminal record. She claimed to be Chris Brown's wife and a prophet directly sent from God. So yesterday, just at about the start of the show, some lady, which is interesting. This could have been one of those terrible, terrible things, but it wasn't. This was almost a terrible, terrible thing. So a crazy lady, gets dropped off at the airport. I'm just noticing that my son has carved his name into my desk. Oh, that's fine. I'll be there forever. crazy lady gets dropped off at the airport. She walks in to the ticket counter area, goes into the bathroom, changes her clothes, puts on a hoodie, pulls out a gun, steps out of the bathroom, starts screaming something, aims the gun at the ceiling, and begins to fire a handgun at the ceiling while screaming something. It was at this point that a Dallas police officer who was on the scene drew his weapon and put her down, shot her in the abdomen. She was taken to a hospital. I don't know what her deal is now. Nobody else was shot. She, like I said, she aimed at the ceiling. She just walked in and was handgun. She used a handgun. So this is not one of those long gun stories where we all got to get twisted about what kind of guns you can and can't buy. Over the past several years, 37-year-old, she's been identified, 37-year-old Portia Odufuwa. 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 Portia Odufuwa has faced charges including arson, robbery, criminal trespass, and false reporting in cities all across North Texas. But in many of those incidents, judges deemed her incompetent to stand trial. She was referred to either or inpatient or outpatient mental health services, and the cases were dismissed. The Dallas Morning News has reported, and as recently as summer, a Dallas County judge ruled that she was no longer a danger to others. Wah, wah. Before she allegedly changed clothes in the airport bathroom, pulled out a gun near a ticketing counter, and opened fire into the ceiling on Monday, court records show Odufuwa had allegedly pulled a gun on a hotel front desk clerk in April of 2021 at a time when she was homeless. The woman provided the address of rapper Chris Brown's mansion to police after the incident, but Dallas County Judge Christian Wade dismissed the false reported case by November, even though Odufuwa did not successfully complete the program. When deemed incompetent to stand trial, according to the county's court records reviewed by the newspaper, she was supposed... Hold on, let me read that again, because there was some weird punctuation there. The woman provided the address of rapper Chris Brown's mansion to police after the incident with the hotel clerk. But Dallas County Judge Christian Wade dismissed the false report case by November, even though Odufuwa did not successfully complete the program when deemed incompetent to stand trial. All right, so she had to go through a program, and she didn't go through the program, and the judge basically just said, enough of this. Fine, whatever. Get her out of here. Clear the docket. Move on. Next crazy person. We got crazy people coming out of the walls. Can't handle them. Our mental health system can't handle it. We can't keep track of all of these crazy people. In October of 2019, Odufuwa was arrested in Mesquite, Texas, when officials responded to a house fire, and the woman, who was found standing outside watching the flames. She reportedly told police she intentionally set it ablaze and had returned after doing so several times. She had tried to burn it down a couple of times, successfully fully burning the residence when she... Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read through this too fast. In October of 2019, Odufuwa was arrested in Mesquite, Texas, when officers responded to a house fire. And the woman, who was found standing outside watching the flames, reportedly told police she intentionally set it ablaze and had returned after doing so several times before without ever successfully fully burning the residence where she had once lived to the ground. That's a terrible sentence. That is a terribly written... I went to J school. That's a terribly written sentence. She said, I am God's prophet and I need an attorney, but I'm basically letting you all know that I am the cause of this fire, she told responding officers, according to official court documents. Odufuwa also allegedly told police that she would not give more details until she could speak with her husband, who she identified as hip-hop star Chris Brown. She was not married to the rapper. It goes on to say, oh, really? Okay. In April of 2019, Odufuwa was accused of bank robbery in Wiley, Texas, after waltzing into a Bank of America and displaying a note demanding an undisclosed amount of money. Customers were evacuated to a safe location, and officers caught up with Odufuwa nearby as she attempted to flee the scene. The woman was found incompetent for trial again and underwent inpatient and outpatient treatment. Crowds of travelers either fled or ducked for cover when Adufa opened fire at Love Field Monday. An officer already in the non-secure area by a ticket counter engaged the suspect, shooting her in the lower extremities. Dallas police said Odufwa was taken into custody and brought to a nearby hospital. No travelers or police officers were hurt in the incident. Okay, so there you have it. So where'd she get the gun? Where'd she get the gun that she walked into Love Field with? How was she able? I mean, I've seen nothing here that tells me whether she was a legal gun owner or whether she wasn't a legal gun owner, because it seems to me that a woman who has been in and out of court and in and out of mental institutions should not be able to walk into Love Field with a gun. She should not be able to legally acquire a gun. That's the interesting thing that I think we need to find out how this crazy woman got a gun, because, the Second Amendment people, they're all about mental health, it's mental health. So, okay, so let's deal with that. That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you Second Amendment people are at least acknowledging that there is a problem, if not maybe taking it as seriously as I'd hope. Mental health and the mental health of our society is certainly a huge player in all of this. So let's focus on mental health. But we can't, because as I said, there are so many crazy people. Do you have any idea? I don't have to raise taxes. You want a complete and thorough mental health bill as it pertains to people obtaining handguns and weapons and all that stuff. You want that? You're going to have to pay more taxes. Because, well, sure, certainly you could fund it with the taxes you already pay, but we know about the corruption and graft. That money's spent. There are dudes in the state house in Texas who have the most amazing boats out there in the lake. They have two fancy cars in their. Look, the money is spent. It's going to be new taxes. So if you really do believe that a way to sort of start an end around with this gun violence thing is to get a handle upon our mental health issues, well, you better be prepared to pay for it. I don't hear a lot of people on the right talking about how they're going to pay for all this mental health stuff, because, they don't like taxes either. How'd she get a freaking gun? How did crazy Love Field lady get a gun? And obviously think about how bad this could have been. I mean, she certainly would have been taken down by the police officer anyway, but if she hadn't been shooting at the ceiling, she just bam, bam, bam. She would have killed 3 people. She would have shot a couple of people before the cop, right? Because the cop is responding to the gunshot. She's shooting into the ceiling. Could have been bad. But it wasn't. Dodged a bullet, no pun intended. Sorry, just I'm reading the chat room. Moving on, Russia is trending. Russia is also trending today. Why? Because Russia is taking their ball and going home. Russia's being a total bitch about this whole Ukraine thing. Even during the Cold War. When our arch enemy was the Soviet Union, even during that period of time, the United States and our chief rival, the Soviet Union, we were able to compartmentalize all of our issues. We were able to be like, okay, yes, we are in a Cold War and we hate you and we want to destroy you, but damn, you got some smart people doing some smart things that could really benefit humanity as a whole. We also have some smart people doing some smart things that can benefit humanity as a whole. Let's just move all the Cold War nonsense to the side, and let's the United States and Russia, let's at least get together and work on this science stuff, right? Maybe we can do some stuff in space. So they built the space station, the ISS, and all of that. And for years, even when things have been good and things have been bad, things have mostly been bad between the United States and Russia for at least as long as I've been alive. But even during the tense times, we were able to have astronauts and cosmonauts living side by side together, working for the greater good of humanity up on a space station. We were able to put the bullshit aside. Not anymore. Russia has announced. Russia says that it is planning to pull out of the International Space Station and end its decades-long partnership with NASA at the orbiting outpost. This, according to newly appointed head of Russia's space agency. Roscosmos chief Yuri Borisov. Roscosmos is NASA. That's Russian NASA. Roscosmos chief Yuri Borisov told Russian President Vladimir Putin that the decision to leave the space station after 2024 has been made. Here's a quote now. You know that we are working within the framework of international cooperation at the International Space Station. Undoubtedly, we will fulfill all of our obligations to our partners, but the decision to leave the station after 2024 has been made, Borisov told Putin in the Kremlin-issued readout. Robin Gates, director of the International Space Station for NASA, said that NASA hadn't received any official word from Russia about the decision to quit the ISS. The story is that Russia is actually going to build their own. They're going to build their own space station, and they're just going to do their thing themselves. That's fine. All right. Breaking news. This was breaking just before we signed on here. Sad news, especially for you old heads out here. Any old heads out here mourning the passing of Wally Cleaver. Wally Cleaver has died. Tony Dow, the actor who played Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver, has died at 77 years old. Tony Dow, the actor and director best known for playing the stalwart older brother Wally Cleaver to Jerry Mather's Beaver in the iconic series Leave It to Beaver, has died. He was 77 years old. His official Facebook page posted that he died Tuesday morning. That's just this morning. It is with an extremely heavy heart that we share with you the passing of our beloved Tony this morning. Tony was a beautiful soul, kind, compassionate, funny, and humble, read the message from his management team. Dow and his wife, Lauren, announced in May that his cancer, which he had been diagnosed with years ago, had returned. Dow was born in Hollywood, and his mother was an early stunt woman and double for Clara Bow. He was a junior Olympics diving champion, but didn't have much showbiz experience when he tagged along with a friend and ended up auditioning for and winning the role of Wally in Leave It to Beaver. Began airing in 57 and ran until 63, 6 years. The popular black and white sitcom centered around the typical idealized family of the time, following the adventures of a mischievous young beaver, his practical brother Wally, their devious friend Eddie Haskell, and their long-suffering but understanding parents played by Barbara Billingsley and Hugh Beaumont. All right, Wally Cleaver has moved on to the next. I mean, I know who he is, but I'm old, right? I mean, I can't imagine anybody 30 years old knows who Tony Dow is. I can't imagine anybody under the age of 45 ever having seen an episode of Leave It to Beaver. Where would you have seen it? Where would have been on? Is that? I mean, I know that people over 70 still watch Leave It to Beaver because you could probably catch it on one of those 80s channels, but I don't know. All right, Tony Dow. Imagine that. It's like a teenager. He's in his young 20s. He's on the biggest show in the world. It's 1963. The show ends. You're Tony Dow. You're Wally Cleaver. You're in your early 20s. Oh, man, you're meeting girls off that Wally Cleaver bit. You know you are. You're living life. It's great. It's 1964. You're Wally Cleaver. Then it's 1965. Then it's 1970. Then it's 1975. And you haven't done anything. Like, he didn't do anything like Wally Cleaver. He just, all of those guys. What else did Jerry Mathers do? I mean, were the shows so impactful with the average person that you just couldn't see them playing anybody else? I don't know. Anyway, Tony Dow, dead. Tony Dow. That's too bad. Seemed like a nice guy. Wally Cleaver seemed like the perfect son, the perfect kid to have. You raised yourself a Wally Cleaver, you were doing good. Hulu is trending because the Disney-backed streaming service Hulu is refusing to run political ads on central themes of the Democratic midterm campaigns. These themes include abortion, guns, and the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. This has prompted a fury from Democratic candidates and supporters. All right, so Hulu doesn't want to get into it. Now, this is all fine. Look, if Hulu decides that they do not want to run any of these divisive ads, these issues that have us all at each other's throats, if they decide that they don't want to do that, and that's fine. And the first ones that they've said no to are the ones, that are, certainly cornerstones of what the Democrats are running. That's fine. I better not see any build a wall bullshit on Hulu. I better not see any MAGA nonsense on Hulu. All right, Hulu? That's fine. Look, I'm telling you how to do your business. But if you are going, you got to be across the board non-divisive. So let's see how that goes. I haven't seen a story on that, but we'll see. Right now, it's just like they're refusing the abortion and gun stuff, which I kind of understand. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. These are places that we go to forget about all of this is the place we go to anesthetize ourselves so that we can relax and unwind and not have to put up with all the nonsense that clouds us every single day. Oh, I hate that guy. Oh, I hate that issue. Oh, abortion, guns, murder. No, come on, it's Hulu. I just want to watch something, I just want to binge watch Better Call Saul. Leave me alone with this stuff. The NFL is trending. The NFL is trending because they have announced that they are going full streaming. That's right. If you are a DirecTV guy and you pay like what, $300 a month or whatever I hate DirecTV. I hate DirecTV. And you know what? I don't know anyone who likes DirecTV. I know a lot of people who have DirecTV. I know a lot of people who have DirecTV for one reason and one reason only, and that's the football package. And that seems like that's not going to be a thing moving forward anymore because the NFL has announced that they are going full bore into streaming. They're going to be offering out-of-market games to people, subscribers. It used to be you had to have Red Zone, or not Red Zone. You had to have a Sunday Ticket. The NFL is making its move into offering its own media streaming platform. The league announced that NFL Plus, which launched on Monday, owners were briefed about it during the league meetings in May, while Brian Rolop, the NFL's chief media and business officer, confirmed in a column for Sports Illustrated last week that it would be starting this season. So this season, there is going to be alternative ways for you to catch out-of-market games, I think. I don't know. Let's read the article. Commissioner Roger Goodell said in a phone interview with the Associated Press that the direct-to-consumer offerings gives the league the stability to understand what fans and non-fans are seeking in terms of content and customize it for them. Goodell says, "We think this is a major step forward. It will evolve, build, and get better as more and more content becomes available on this platform. The work that we've done either with other offerings or research has helped us sort of frame this in a way that we think would be very attractive and engage our fans." The launch of NFL Plus comes as 15 games on Thursday nights will be carried exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. The Sunday Ticket package of out-of-market Sunday games currently will expire at the end of this season. So the Sunday Ticket deal expires. It expires at the end of the season. So it seems to me that the NFL is ramping up something so that they don't have to deal with any third parties anymore. And, this is the way it always, like the NFL is a thing, right? So it was a thing and it was designed to sell tickets, live tickets, right? That's what it was designed for. Before TV, before, mass broadcasting of these games, it was designed to sell tickets in the play. That's why they built these stadiums. These stadiums were the only overhead they had. Then came television. Then suddenly the ability to show these games all around the nation, that became a possibility. So what ended up happening was the NFL had to partner with somebody who specialized in that. And that was, the only people who could do television were the television companies. Well, now we live in the streaming era. I'm doing a television show right now. See, all of us, anybody can do it. We don't need the three major networks anymore. We don't need the industry to tell us what is and what isn't appropriate to be able to watch or to be able to stream or to be able to put out there for a consumer base. No more. The individual can do it. And the NFL has decided, hey, you know what? We can just create our own network and put our own games on there. And we don't have to have these. We can make 100% of the money. Instead of just getting a one-time big check from a network for the rights to our games, we can just make all the money off the rights to our games. It's not like there's not going to be commercials. They're still going to sell commercials on this. You're still going to have that stuff. And you're going to pay a monthly fee. NFL Plus will allow fans to view out-of-market preseason games. This is just for the season. NFL Plus will allow fans to view out-of-market preseason games on all devices, local and national regular season and postseason games on mobile devices. Team and national radio feeds NFL Network shows on demand along with NFL film archives. NFL Plus could also include content produced by teams. It will be able to be accessed through the NFL app and the website. So there you go. NFL, not going to have any more network partners. I'm telling you, in 10 years, you're not going to have any games on ESPN. You're not going to have any games on ABC. You're not going to have any games on Fox. It's going to all be in-house. You can produce it at a minimum now, and you can put it out there without needing the help of a major network carrier. No, it's completely changed. TV's dying, man. I'm telling you, TV is dying. Football is the number one revenue generator for Fox Network, Fox Television. That goes away. We're talking about cutting half of their income. Alex Jones is trending. Oh, boy. Oh, quite a guy, Alex Jones. Alex Jones is trending because he's in court today as we speak. Alex Jones is in a courtroom as opening arguments get underway in a Texas trial that will determine how much he will have to pay two Sandy Hook families. The attorney for the plaintiffs is currently playing video of Jones pushing conspiracy theories about the shootings. I don't know if we're going to get the number today, or I don't know if this is going to be like, drawn out. They'll appear in court today, and then they'll come back in a month, and then a month from then, the judge will give a ruling. I don't know, but it is starting to look like old Alex Jones is about to get bankrupted, and about to get bankrupted hard, at least as far as all the experts are saying. Michael J. Fox is trending. Michael J. Fox is trending for a terrible reason. Apparently there was a death hoax. I didn't see this. Did you guys see this? I must have missed it. I don't know when it was going around, but there was a Michael J. Fox death hoax. We all know Michael J. Fox, beloved star of Family Ties. Yeah, Growing Pains was the other one. Growing Pains was a knockoff. Family Ties was the original. Michael J. Teen Wolf, right? The original Teen Wolf. Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Spin City. Beloved. Michael J. Fox is beloved, especially if you come from the 80s like I do. Michael J. Fox beloved. And he's got Parkinson's, right? Isn't that what it is? Death hoax fury. Michael J. Fox death hoax sparks outrage after sick rumor about Back to the Future star sweeps the web. The false reports claimed the 62-year-old Back to the Future star had passed away, but he became the latest victim of a sick death hoax. False rumors Michael J. Fox has died swept the internet. Let's see what the rumor is. The rumor led to an angry backlash with social media users quick to point out that he had not died. Michael J. Fox is not dead, despite what a death hoax tried to make fans believe. I'm glad he's alive, wrote one Twitter user and fan. Another said, Michael J. Fox is not dead. People are trying to fool us. Others expressed their anger more forcefully, with one writing, Michael J. Fox is not dead, and fuck you. Well, that is a bit more forcefully. There you go. He's not dead. Add an FU. More forceful. In 2018, reports claim the actor died from pneumonia. He's got Parkinson's, right? Is that what he's got? In 2018, reports claim the actor died from pneumonia. Days after checking into a hospital with complications from his Parkinson's disease. Okay. The false report was posted on a site that was designed to trick readers. Trick readers into thinking they were reading a Yahoo News article. He did not respond or comment on the death hoax at the time. I think it's important. I think if there's a death hoax, I think that if somebody says you're dead, I think it's important that you respond very quickly. I think not dead. That's all you got to do. Just a little something from his blue check confirmed account, Michael J. Fox. Not dead. Still here. The false report was posted on a site that was designed to trick readers into thinking they were reading a Yahoo News article. He did not respond or comment on the death hoax at the time. Fox is most famous for appearing in the Back to the Future trilogy and his campaigning work to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. All right. Very good news. Michael J. Fox is not dead. Good. Who's got a problem? Who among us has a problem with Michael J. Fox? You're not allowed to. He's a good dude. He, in the prime of his life, he was struck down by this insidious disease, but for the grace of God, go we all. He's been an advocate for this disease for the past 20 years. Every time I see Michael J. Fox in a public appearance, I get that thing, I get the, oh my God, because he shakes, and he does, it's just, he was such a charming, charismatic, and beloved young actor. And just to see the evil that can just take down a body, an otherwise healthy body. Mega Millions is trending. Mega Millions. Ooh. I said today, when I woke up today, I said, okay, so I don't have the kid. The kid's got football camp. So the kid is like away at football camp all week. So I don't have the kid this week. So I woke up this morning and I said to myself, I go, okay, all right, we can stop the financial hemorrhaging. Because when the kid is with you in the summer, it's just like, everything is $10. Everything is $10. Every word, every sentence that he speaks to me ends with me being $10 lighter. It doesn't matter. It's just constant little things. $10. How much is that? $10. Can I have this? $10. Everything just rounded up to $10. You'll be fine. So I woke up this morning and I remember I said to myself, I said, okay, good boy's not here. Time to tighten down the hatches. I am not going to spend one dime today or tomorrow. I got everything I need. I got food here. I got all the stuff that I need. I don't need to go to a store. I got gas in the car. I don't need to do anything. I can spend no money in two days. 2 days, no money. I can spend money on anything in 2 days. Then I wake up and I see this Mega Millions. And I'm like, well, I got to go to the store and get a Mega Millions ticket because that's who I am. Mega Millions is trending. And boy, oh boy, is this a big one. Third biggest jackpot of all time. I saw this number and I said, that's the third biggest number of all time? That's not the biggest number of all time? Has there been a $1 billion Mega Millions jackpot? Seems like I would remember that. This jackpot, the Mega Millions that is being drawn tonight, I believe you got to get your ticket by 10 o'clock, maybe 11. I think it's 10, just be safe, by 10 o'clock. I think you got to get your ticket by 10 o'clock Central Time. And a winning ticket, $810 million. Oh, whoa. $810 million. I think it comes out to like what's the story here? The story says, you take the one-time lump sum. Folks, look, I know this is most, but we can all agree. You take the one-time lump sum, right? You're not going to be like, okay, just pay me back over the next 20 years. Have you taken a look around the society that we have built? Do you think that something that is promised today is going to be fulfilled in 20 years? I don't believe that for a minute. Give me all the money now. I don't care how much less just give $470 million. I think if you take a one-time payment, it's $470 million. Yeah, $470.1 million. Fine by me. Give me that I ain't taking no payouts. I ain't taking no annuities. Are you insane? This whole place in 20 years is going to be I don't know who's going to be in charge. The aliens could be in charge. So I don't want to be waiting for the mailman to be dropping off my checker. Give me all the money now. Do you want a chance at winning the third largest Mega Millions jackpot? If so, you'll need to go buy a ticket or two before the drawing that is set to take place at 11 p.m. on Tuesday. The jackpot has jumped up to $810 million, a cash value one time. So if you take the payout, it's $470 million. That's definitely not chump change in today's economy. All right, $470 million. You know what that would mean? Everybody says I'm crazy. I've said this for years. You people think I'm nuts. I win $470 million. I'm giving $400 million of that away. I am taking the $70 million. $70 million is generational wealth. It's myself, my son, and my son's sons. They will be taken care of. They will have they'll get that silver spoon, born on third base lifestyle that we see so many people enjoy and thrive in their lives. So that's generational. $70 million will give my family, my immediate family, and then $400 million, I'll give away $400 million. And I'll do it in a really creative way. I'll do it in a way that probably makes me like one of the most famous people on the planet. I'll just be a guy. I'll just travel the country and just give people money, like big chunks of money. Like I'll go through Sinatra used to do this. Sinatra used to read newspapers from all over the country and he would scour them for people in need. Like you would look for a story of a plumber whose family home burned down and the plumber died and now it's just a wife and like 3 kids and what are they going to do? And oh my goodness, what a terrible story. Frank Sinatra would clip that story out and then he would send it to his business people and he would just say, take care of them. And he got like no credit for it or anything. But Sinatra did that. That was like how he enjoyed himself and all of his money. Just sitting there going through newspapers, clipping out people who had tough times, putting them on. He would paste them to a card, like a blue card, and put them in a pile. And then somebody who worked for him would take all of these things and fix the problems. If the people needed a new house, Sinatra would pay for the new house. If the people needed funeral expenses, Sinatra would pay the funeral expense. Just incredible. And that's always sort of it's always sort of hit me, how much money do you need? I don't need $470 million, but I could have a whole lot of fun giving away 400 million. I'll keep that 70. I'll be fine. I'll have a Ferrari. I'll have a Ferrari and a pool and a nice house and all that kind of stuff. I'll 70 million. I'll fly private from time to time. I'll still fly commercial because I'm a man of the people. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll fly private if I need to. We'll fly. We're fine. 70 million. Have you any idea how well you can live on 70 million? I don't need 470 million, but I would have fun changing people's lives. Mega Millions tickets are sold for $2, and you can add the Megaplier for another $1. Add it. Just add it. What the fuck? It's $2. It's $3. Goes from $2 to $3. How much are your dreams worth? That's what I say. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, and I don't buy a lot of lottery tickets, but I buy them when they get big, as I'm sure many of you do. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, I say to myself, okay, so I'm throwing away $2. But until I lose, don't I have, isn't it a possibility that I've just purchased a 400? So it's hope. It's keeping hope alive. It's that $2 to me, whatever. If I'm ever down to my last $2, I've got a lot bigger problems than being down to my last $2. You know what I mean? If I'm down literally in my last $2 and I can't take a chance at winning $470 million, so that's it. So that's how I justify it. What are the odds that you win the jackpot? Well, the odds are 1 in 303 million. That's according to Mega Millions. If those sounds like odds that you'd like to take, tune in tonight to see if you drew the lucky number. You know what else I do with lottery tickets? And this is, folks, I'm telling you, I'm a complicated guy. There is a lot of like jacked up stuff swirling around up here. I do things that even, me in my more rational states, I go, why am I doing that? Give an example. I will buy a lottery ticket. Okay. Like let's talk about like the instant numbers, like the Mega Millions or all that. You get the ticket, the numbers get printed out. I will buy a lottery ticket and then I'll just put it in my glove box. I'll never check. I'll never look. Because when I look and when I lose, it's over. But as long as it's in my glove box and as long as it's within a year, because I think they expire after a year, you got to check them before a year. So, every couple of months I pull out a big stack and then I have a very depressive time looking up the numbers and realizing that I have lost again. Also, I do this. I get a, if I'm given sometimes for birthdays or for Christmas time or whatever, you'll get a lottery ticket, a scratch off. That's always a fun gift. What are you going to get? You're going to get somebody, give somebody a chance to win something big. So here you go. Here's your scratch off ticket. I get scratch off tickets and I don't scratch them off. I put them in a drawer and I'm like, okay, they're in the drawer. And as long as they're in the drawer and they're not scratched off, they could still be winners. So I have that optimism. I could have a winner in there. And then the minute I scratch it off, it's a loser. And I'm like, fuck! Now I got nothing to live for. That's me. I told you. I do some crazy things. You ever know anybody who won the lottery? I knew a kid. I went to high school with a kid whose family won the lottery. 16 years old. He got a Porsche. Now, it was the 1980s. It was one of those 1980s 944, but it was still a Porsche. And it was like, oh, that dude's got a Porsche. April says, I felt like I won the lottery yesterday when I got 3 bar stools at Target on clearance, marked down from 270 and only paid 60. There you go. You won the lottery. I like it. Jeff Glenn says, if you had 470 million, I could live in your pool house. Jeff, I'll tell you what, because you just chimed in with that, if I had 470 million, I'd buy you a house. I'll buy you you don't gotta live in my pool house. I don't want to be that close to you. What if we don't get along? You can live next door. You can live down the street. I will buy you out because you just said that in the chat room. Should I win, Jeff gets a house. Ross says we called the 944s in the 80s barely Porsches. I don't know, man. He's still, it was still impressive to us. It was, granted, you might have liked to have gone all the way up to the 911 back in those nice little 911 Targa 1984 model, whatever. You went with the 944. Could have gone with the 924. Went with the 944. Let's see what else. So Mega Millions, get your tickets. Raising Cane's. Oh, this is also on the Mega Millions thing. Raising Cane's is trending today. Why are they trending? because of the whole Mega Millions thing. The owner of Raising Cane's has purchased a Mega Millions ticket for all 50,000 Raising Cane employees. So that's $100,000. So the owner of Raising Cane's spent $100,000 on Mega Millions tickets. I mean, what's the point? You hear some dude just spent $100,000. He's got $100,000 worth of tickets. And now I'm going to throw my little 2 cents. It's just like, what are you going to do? Todd Graves, owner, founder of Raising Cane's, has purchased a Mega Millions ticket for every single employee in his Raising Cane's empire. But here's the thing. Because I read the damn article. I was like, oh, isn't that nice? How are they going to distribute? Okay, so if he bought them today, there are Raising Cane's all over the country. How is he going to distribute those tickets to people? How is he going to get all of the tickets that he purchased? How is he going to get them to the individual? Or did he just okay each individual Raising Cane's manager to go out and buy a ticket for everybody? See, here's how it went. He bought the tickets. He bought $50,000. He bought one. He didn't buy a ticket for each of his employees. He bought a ticket representing each of his 50,000 employees. He's keeping him, and he's saying that if one of those 50,000 tickets that he's got wins, he's going to then give them money. So it's not like it's not like one lucky Raising Cane employee could have a ticket worth $470 million. No, it means the owner bought $50,000 or $100,000. I guess it'd be $100,000. That means the owner bought $100,000 worth of tickets. He said, I bought one for each employee. And really, it's just for him. This is just for him. The founder of Raising Cane's is buying $2 Mega Million tickets for each of his employees as the jackpot grows to the 4th largest prize ever. I guess it's 3rd now. I guess it's gone up since this story was posted. The story is from yesterday. The next Mega Millions drawing will be held Tuesday, July 26th. That's today. Lottery officials have raised the grand prize to $810 million. The prize has grown large because there hasn't been a winner in 3 months. Todd Graves of Raising Cane's is buying one ticket on behalf, not for. Oh, these are legal words. Todd Graves is buying one ticket on behalf of each of his 50,000 employees. If any of the tickets wins the mammoth prize, he says every Cane's employee stands to win thousands of dollars. Thousands? How many? You got 50,000 employees, 810 million. I don't know. As soon as we heard how big this jackpot prize is, we couldn't miss out on the chance to win the mega. See, here's how if you really wanted to do it the cool way, because honestly, he gets one ticket that wins the 810 million. What's going to stop him from going, oh yeah, this is one I bought for myself. This is the one this one was meant for me. This one, yeah, okay. Sorry, employees, just the way it played out. Of the 50,000 tickets that I bought for you guys, the one that won, that was the one I bought for me. Yeah. Here's what he should have done. He should have just said, he should have just allowed every manager at every Raising Cane's to buy a ticket for every employee. So if you run a Raising Cane's and you've got 20 employees, go out and spend $40 in tickets and then give each employee it. That's how you do it. No, this guy's just got a stack of 50,000. I'm not crazy. I did it for my employees. All right, we'll see. Oh boy, here's a name from the past. Here's a name from the past and a name that is going to stay in the past because I can't imagine there are any little girls running around with the name JonBenét. JonBenét Ramsey is trending again today. 25 years. JonBenét Ramsey would be like a 30-something-year-old woman now. Think about that. JonBenét Ramsey. You kids know who JonBenét Ramsey is? JonBenét Ramsey was a little Colorado beauty pageant kid. She was like, she's an adorable, beautiful young lady. Parents, I don't like the beauty pageant thing. But she was murdered, all right? So she was murdered, and was she kidnapped or was she found? I don't even remember 25 years ago, the JonBenét Ramsey story is. So I have no idea who did it. I thought that they thought the brother had done it, but then he was sort of cleared. And then there was like, we're looking at you, Dad. And you know what happens with me with JonBenét Ramsey? JonBenét Ramsey, the details of the JonBenét Ramsey story for me sort of bleed into the Elizabeth Smart story. Like I need to really stop and think about, okay, wait, which one was abducted? Elizabeth Smart. But was JonBenét abducted too? Wait, I don't know. Which one was found in the basement? Okay, that's got to be JonBenét, because Elizabeth Smart was found like in a field with the people who abducted her, like some forest or somewhere. So I really don't know. I don't know. But think of the name, JonBenét. First of all, it's not like, you could go to a Six Flags gift store and find a little decorative license plate that said JonBenét on it in 1996. You couldn't. It was a rare name then. But I can't imagine that anybody, how could you too? Because it's such a rare name. If you had a baby, if you had a baby girl and you're like, oh, I want to name her JonBenét, you would totally be naming her after JonBenét Ramsey. You would there is no other like famous JonBenét. I don't even know that name existed anywhere else. Maybe is it French? Is it his name in France? I don't know. That'd be weird. That's a pretty name. Pretty name of a little girl who was brutally murdered. Why are you giving that name to it's like Adolf. It's like Adolf. Adolf was a very common name. I don't know that JonBenét ever was a common name. Maybe in France. Adolf was a very common name. Hitler comes along, destroys it. All the good work that Adolf Coors did in perfecting, brewing and canning and distributing beer, that was all for naught, because here comes Adolf Hitler to ruin the name Adolf. And not that JonBenét Ramsey ruined her name. I just mean that the name JonBenét is just kind of associated now with a really tragic thing. And maybe it is a pretty name. I don't know. Is it a pretty name? I can't get past the fact that it's, it's the name of a dead little girl. So that's kind of got a dark cloud over the name for me. Might be a pretty name. Like, I wonder if I had run into like the Ramseys the day that they had their baby and they were walking out of the hospital with their beautiful little daughter. And I said, what's her name? And they said, oh, this is JonBenét. I wonder what my clean response to that would be. Because now, obviously, my response isn't clean, because the name JonBenét is associated with a dead little girl. But back then, like, would they have said, this is our daughter, JonBenét? Would I have gone, oh, that's a pretty name? Or would I have gone, huh? What? I don't even know. And that's how screwed up I am. Dateline, Boulder, Colorado. It's been 25 years since JonBenét Ramsey was found dead. Her murder is considered by many to be one of the most notorious cold cases in American history. Now there is a renewed effort to find the person responsible for her murder. JonBenét's father and half-brothers are petitioning Governor Jared Polis to hand over the DNA samples the Boulder Police Department had collected and allow a company called Parabon Nanolabs to do DNA testing in the case. JonBenét's father, John Ramsey, spoke out about the effort to find his daughter's killer in an interview with 60 Minutes. Was this over the weekend? 60 Minutes Australia on Sunday. Not even our 60 Minutes. He says, we want to do whatever can be done technically and resource-wise to find the killer of our daughter. And if we do that, and we can't, then we will have to live with it. But to not do it is criminal and negligent and lazy, John Ramsey said. Parabon scientists said it could take just a few hours to identify DNA collected from the crime scene of JonBenét's murder. So it's like a big puzzle. We have to put all the puzzle pieces back together, little by little by little. What I'm doing all day long is building the family trees of these individuals that are sharing DNA with this unknown suspect. John Andrew Ramsey, JonBenét's half-brother, sent out a tweet on Monday morning after the 60 Minutes interview. He said, "Hi, Governor Polis. Parabon and CC Moore is the premier shop in the world to successfully hunt child killers. Let's get to work," John Andrew Ramsey shared. Is that the one that was like thought to be the killer for a period of time? Like, there was a period of time when people were like, oh, the brother did it. But then apparently he was cleared. JonBenét Ramsey deserves justice, and new advances in DNA technology finally make that possible. Colorado Governor Jared Polis, if you are the only person with enough power and independence in the state to put Ramsey DNA testing decisions in the hands of a news agency that's freeform. I am tired of these long run-on sentences. This is not how you write. I'm telling you, man, they have fired all the editors. They have fired everybody. This is just these. Do you guys notice this when you're reading news stories? Do you notice all of the spelling mistakes, all of the punctuation errors, all of the run-on sentences, we are getting stupider and stupider and stupider because we don't pay attention to the details. Let me try this again. JonBenet Ramsey, quote, there's a quote now. JonBenet Ramsey deserves justice, and new advances in DNA technology finally make that possible. There should be a period there, but there's not. Colorado Governor Jared Polis, you are the only person with enough power and independence in the state to put Ramsey DNA testing decisions in the hands of a new agency that's free form. I can't even. I don't know where the fuck this sentence is going. All right. So anyway, the Ramseys are trying to force the governor of Colorado to reopen the case. We're all calm down. This has been a pet peeve of me now for a while. See, you used to have a whole bunch of interns that worked for free and were brutalized, and they sat in a room, and every little piece that would get sent out for any kind of broadcast or stream or any kind of publication, be it on the internet or otherwise, it was all checked by a bunch of kids who were like human veal in a room. And if they found any mistakes, they would fix it. They'd send it back, and then they would fix it. And then it would go to another person, an editor, who would format it and make sure. This is how the sausage has always been made, except for now, stockholders demand bigger returns on their stocks. So, the operation budget has to be cut. So now you don't have anybody. You just got someone writing the story and hitting send and putting it up there. And there are mistakes I'll survive. It bugs me because I was one of those interns. See, I know how this works because early on, I remember interns can't work for free anymore. That's illegal. I worked for free for 2 years, slave labor, completely under the table for 2 full years. I never made a dime working in major market radio, working for a dude that was making like $2 million a year. I worked for free for 2 years, driving a shitty car, bouncing around, couch surfing, struggling, eating garbage ramen noodles. I struggled for 2 years. And you know what? I learned the craft. I learned what I needed to learn. It sucked. It was 2 years of hell, and it sucked. You can't do that anymore. You got to pay them kids if you're going to have. So now the companies are like, oh, we got to pay them now? Oh, well, fuck that. Let's just have bad quality, which they were here because we were allowed to do it for free. We were allowed to work their asses into the ground. And then the end result was that our product was better. But now if you're telling us that we need to start paying these kids at least minimum wage, fuck our product. We don't care. We'll have spelling mistakes. We'll have all kinds of editing problems. We'll have all kinds of issues. I don't know. Interns can't work for free. Well, all right. The first time I heard, it was probably about 15 years ago. So like I think all internships are now, unless they're for school credit. I think that's the way you can get it away. It can be for school credit or you have to be paid. We had an intern like 15 years ago who wanted to know what the pay was to be an intern. And I remember thinking, what? There's no pay to be an intern. You come in, you hang out, you learn. And then maybe a job opens up around the station. You get that job, and then another job opens up. You take that. This is how the system works. It's how the system has worked for 50 years. And now all of a sudden we got to start paying these low-level laborers. Well, guess what? The companies aren't going to pay these people anymore. They're going to create a new budget to pay all of these people that they weren't paying anything before. You know what they're going to do? They're going to make somebody that they're already paying do the shit work that the kids used to do for free. Now the kids don't learn. And it's okay. You don't have to learn, especially since we're talking about media and journalism, because that shit's all going away. We don't need another generation. Hope Solo is trending. Hope Solo, talked about her a couple of months ago. Remember, she got the DUI. Hope Solo's a train wreck. This is kind of a sad story for Hope Solo. Hope Solo's been in and out of, I'm not going to say scandal, but she has had. Hope Solo is a goalkeeper, right, for the women's national team, the women's soccer team. Pretty girl, cool name. If she had like a likable personality and if she had like some charm and some grace, could have been a megastar. She could have gone from her role in that woman's team she hosted a talk show. I mean, at the very least, she could be on the sideline doing sports. She could have done, but she didn't have the personality. Hope Solo is just not a. Some people are just drips, and she's kind of a drip. And it seems that she also has some addiction issues and some problems with personal demons. A couple of years ago, there was a big situation where she beat up her mom and her sister, right? They were a drunk brawl at their house. So a couple of months back, she was found charged with a DUI because she was found in the parking lot of, I want to say, a North Carolina Target store. She was completely crashed out. She was behind the wheel of her car with the car running in a parking lot at Target. Hope Solo, American hero, gold medalist, sleeping in her car in the middle of the day out in front of a Target store with her twins in the backseat. Her twins were in the backseat with Hope Solo, sleeping right there in the car. So that was a couple of months ago. She has gone to trial. She has pled guilty. At the time, she pled guilty to DUI. This is happening now. So this is the modern story, the current story. She pled guilty to DUI. But if you remember back at the time, back at the time, it was all kinds of excuses. It was allergy medication. It was she hadn't slept. It was this and that. And, it's hard being the mother of twins. And now she's like, yeah, that's right. I drank a fifth of vodka before going into Target. Bought some baby stuff. By the time I got to the car, I was crashed out. Former United States women's national team goalkeeper Hope Solo has pled guilty Monday to driving while impaired. This almost 4 months after she was found passed out behind the wheel of a vehicle in North Carolina with her 2-year-old twins inside. Okay. Solo also was charged with misdemeanor child abuse and resisting a public officer in connection with the March 31st incident. Her attorney, Chris Clifton, said those 2 charges were voluntarily dismissed. A news release from the Forsyth County District Attorney's Office said a judge gave Solo 40 of Roaring Gap in Allegheny County a suspended sentence of 24 months and an active sentence of 30 days. She was given 30 days credit for the time she spent at an inpatient rehab facility. The judge also ordered Solo to pay $2,500 in fines and $600 fee for the cost of lab tests. She also has to get a substance abuse assessment and complete all recommended treatments. In a statement released after the guilty plea, Solo said that although she took pride in motherhood and how she and her husband handled their children during the pandemic, it was incredibly hard, and I made a huge mistake. Oh, shut up. Shut up about the pandemic. You know what? We all went through the pandemic, Hope Solo. We didn't all get drunk in the parking lot of a Target with our 2 twins in the back seat. We didn't all do that. We all went through the pandemic. Just admit it. Just say, look, here's what she should have said. Instead of, I hate this bullshit. Instead of, it was incredibly hard. The pandemic was incredibly hard. Solo said that although she took pride, I take pride in my motherhood. I take pride in that. And we're very proud of how we handled our children during this pandemic. It was so hard. Oh, and I made a mistake. I got shit-faced in the parking lot of Target, but the pandemic was so hard. And I'm a mom and I love my kids. Yeah. I drank a fifth of vodka and then, got totally shit-faced in the parking lot of Target, passed out with my kids in the back. But the pandemic. Let's talk about the pandemic. No, what Hope Solo should have said, the only thing that Hope Solo can say right now to bring, this is bullshit. Here's what she says. Here's what she has to say. You say, oh man, I'll tell you what. My life has been quite the whirlwind since winning that goal. Team America, woo! And then everybody applauds, right? So now you got them out. U.S. Women's Soccer, woo! We won the gold. Right? So you open up with that, remind us all who you are, and then say this. I struggle with some things, and I'm doing the best that I can. The number one most important thing in my life are my children and my family and my husband, and I am horrified by what I did. I'm a human being. We all make missteps. We all fall. What separates us are the ones of us who can get up and recognize our problems and admit when we've done something wrong and just try and move forward being the best person that we are possibly capable of becoming. Thank you. I'm Hope Solo. Goodbye. That's all she had to say. That's all. Just admit it. Mea culpa. Wear it on your sleeve. People aren't going to kick you in the face if you look like you're sad and you know you made a mistake. But when you start getting up there and be like, the pandemic was so hard. The pandemic made me do it. I was so stressed out. No, look, you've got a drinking problem. The pandemic is just a convenient little excuse for you, Hope Solo. You got a drinking problem. You got a drug problem. You don't like that you went from being a household name for about 6 months back in 2000 and I don't know, 2010. You don't like that you went from being a household name in 2010 to being some of the people who go, Hope Solo, is she from Star Wars? I mean, that's pretty much how people think of you now. So I understand that's difficult. You were Hope Solo, and also she married an NFL player. She married some NFL player who isn't like a big name, but I bet when she married him, there was like hope that oh, you're gonna have a great career, and then he didn't. So now she's married to some spare tight end player. He's a tight end. I don't know who he is. I don't know. Maybe he's somebody. I'd never heard of him. So there's that. The husband's going through, I could have been an all-pro tight end. Nah, you couldn't have. You weren't that good. And then you got Hope Solo, and she's like, I was once on Letterman. I was the most famous woman. Yeah, life is hard, man. Things change. She's 40. She was beautiful. She's probably got a whole issue about, I'm aging. I'm not beautiful anymore. Nah, you're still beautiful. You're still fine. Just admit it. Just take responsibility, Hope Solo. We don't need you talking about the pandemic. We all went through the pandemic. We didn't all end up drunk in the parking lot of a Target with our 2 kids asleep in the back of the car. Let's see. What else do we have here? Hey, the Pope has apologized. The Pope is trending because the Pope apparently went up there to Canada. Pope went to Canada and he's meeting with the indigenous people. Wait, is he in Canada? Seems like if Pope was in North America, it'd be a bigger deal. And why ain't he coming here? Why ain't he coming to America? Pope went up to Canada, basically apologized to all the indigenous people because what happened up there, apparently the Catholics were a big part of this up in Canada. So they were like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're taking over this land now. We know that there's a lot of you natives here. You people have been here for a while. We're going to start building schools and stuff like that. And we're going to make it, you guys have to go to our schools. And the Indians were like, well, we got our own thing here. Why can't we just operate our 2 societies side by side? And the white man said, no, we got to have one society. So here's what's going to happen. Your society no longer exists. And your kids, we're going to provide school for your kids. And your native kids are going to come to our schools. And the native kids went to those schools, and those schools were like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And they got basically Christianity beaten into them, and it destroyed whatever culture they had and, all that kind of stuff. So that's what the Pope's doing. Pope's apologizing for that. Pope is up there in Canada going, yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, my bad. And then you see the picture. There's a picture of the Pope. He's wearing an Indian headdress. Cultural appropriation. How come everybody's not screaming about the Pope? The Pope is up there on stage surrounded by a bunch of Canadian natives, and the Pope is wearing one of those big colored headdresses. Right? He's a white guy. He can't wear that. No, but he can. Because there's nothing wrong with cultural appropriation. There's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong with it is if you appropriate it and then call it your own and then start making all kinds of money at it to the loss of the people who actually invent. That's what's bad about it. But wearing a freaking Indian headdress when you're surrounded by a bunch of Indians who probably gave you the headdress and said, put it on, is not cultural appropriation. Although I did see that. There were some people in the thread going, that's cultural appropriation. The Pope shouldn't be wearing it. Where do you think he got it? Do you think the Pope, do you think going through the airport there in Calgary or wherever the hell the Pope was, do you think he stopped at the gift shop and he said, hey, check out this headdress. Pretty cool, huh? And just, no. He showed up at the Indian thing and they said, hey, this is a ceremonial headdress worn by our chief. We would be honored if you would wear it. And he put it on. And now he's got people online going, the Pope should not be wearing that. That's an insult. It's not an insult if the people who you are claiming to have been insulted are the ones who told him to do it and gave him it. It's not. Stop it. Stop being upset for other people. Stop it. I hate it. That is the number one thing. This doesn't bother me, but it's wrong because it probably bothers other people. And I am just going to be bothered for them because I live in misery. I love being bothered for people. Let's see. Texas Rangers are trending. This one just popped off. This is this. Look, I love my Rangers. Look, they're my second favorite team. Maybe third. And my second and third favorite teams is very troubling, especially for my fellow Ranger fans, because obviously my White Sox are my favorite baseball team, but my whole life growing up, my second favorite team was the St. Louis Cardinals. they're my National League team. My National League team are the St. Louis Cardinals. I love the Cardinals. Talk about a classy organization. Just been around forever. Winningest National League organization. Second winningest organization in all of baseball. The Cardinals are the shit. I always loved them. And then I became a Ranger fan. And, of course, the Cardinals hurt my Rangers in this World Series. And if I'm being honest, I started out rooting for the Texas Rangers in that series. Remember, it looked like we were going to run away with that. Oh, the Rangers are going to run. Actually, it was 2 in a row, 2 series. Anyway, but the one against the Cardinals, at some point, I kind of switched over to my Cardinal allegiances. When it looked like it was going that way, I was like, all right, Cardinals. Fred Bird. Fred Bird is their, get it? Redbird, Cardinals, Redbirds. Fred Bird is their mascot. Anyway, Dallas Keuchel is now a Texas Ranger. The Texas Rangers have signed left-handed pitcher Dallas Keuchel to a minor league contract. The two-time All-Star and 2015 Cy Young Award winner will report to Round Rock later this week. This comes direct from Evan Grant. So I can tell you a little bit. So Ranger fans, and I am a Ranger fan, and we do need a little bit of pitching help. I can tell you this. I like Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel seems like a terrific teammate. He played for my team for the past 3 seasons. He's a terrific teammate, good team leader, does not belong in Major League Baseball. I'm sorry. The Rangers signing, yikes. I do not want that. He'll probably come up because he's got a major league. He's a major league pitcher. They didn't sign him to a minor league deal. They didn't just let him sit down there in the minor leagues. Dallas Keuchel doesn't want that. Dallas Keuchel's sitting on a gigantic pot of money. He's not going to be living in the minor leagues. He's going down there. He's going to throw a few innings, and then they'll probably bring him up to the big team. Unless they end up cutting him altogether, which they very well may. The problem with Dallas Keuchel is that when Dallas Keuchel is a great pitcher, he's a lefty, which is good to begin with, but then he's a ground ball pitcher, one of the great ground ball pitchers of this era. And Dallas Keuchel has not been able to throw a ground ball pitch in 2 years. They're getting up there. They're all rising and they're going out. They're not, it's not a ground ball to the shortstop. No. He's getting crushed. Dallas Keuchel is, I hope like I said, I like Dallas Keuchel. He seems like a good dude. I got no malice in my heart for him. He seems like a good guy. I don't want him pitching for my team. And we got rid of him. My White Sox got rid of him a few months back and we were like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay, so now we don't have to once every 5 days be like, oh, shit, this is the Dallas Keuchel start. Oh, my God, they're going to score 6 runs in the first. That's basically what we've been going through with Dallas Keuchel. So I was happy when my team got rid of him, and now I wake up this morning and I'm like, Jesus, I still got to watch Dallas Keuchel now? I'm still going to have to see Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel seems like a good dude. I like him. Seems like a good dude. By the way, you see that dude with a shirt off? Seriously. Dallas Keuchel is like rocking 0% body fat. He's like ripped. He's like ripped. Like he doesn't look like it because he's got the big beard and all that stuff, and he wears a little bit of a baggy uniform. Dallas Keuchel is an Adonis. Like his body is just like, I just Google him. Dallas Keuchel muscles. He was on the cover of Muscle and Fitness like last year. And he's standing there on a pitcher's mound, just completely oiled up and you get to see everything. It's like, holy shit, that dude is ripped. So, welcome to the Ranger family, Dallas Keuchel. What do we have here? What's this? Danger study. Oh, we got a danger study. Let's see what this is about. You know how we like our new studies here on the High Noon Show. All right. Let's see what this is about. Study finds, this is one of my favorite sites. I check this every day. 52 study finds 52% of us. 52% of us. That's half of us plus 2%. 52% of us fear that we are in danger every day, even at home. What? Are you kidding me? Over half of Americans feel like they're in imminent danger at least once a day. This, a new poll of 2,000 Americans analyzed how they feel about their personal safety and found that 52% feel on edge every day at any given moment. Younger Americans were the most likely to feel concerned about their safety on a daily basis, with 75% of those between the ages of 25 and 34 agreeing with this statement, compared to just 50% of those 45 to 54. That's got to be because of active lifestyle, right? Like if you're between 25 and 34, you might be more active. You go out to bars, you go out to clubs every night, right? Like if you're 24 years old, you're single, you're out there. Remember what you used to do Tuesday night? Let's go drinking. So if you are between 25 and 34, you're going to movies, you're going to concerts, you're going to malls all the time, you're going to bars, you're in and out of restaurants, you're doing all of that stuff. Whereas when you get older, the 45 to 54, you start to stay home a little more. You start to stay home, you got kids, you got a family, you're nesting, you're building your own compound, you got your whole thing going on. So I can understand that. I can understand why it's 75% of Americans between 25 and 34 feel that they are in imminent danger every single day of their lives. Dark streets and sidewalks trigger their anxiety the most, followed by neighborhoods they aren't familiar with. Next in line were parking garages and riding alone in a ride share or a taxi. Yeah, this is interesting to me. This is something that I had never considered before ride sharing, before Uber, before all of that. I grew up in the city of Chicago, which was different in Dallas in that in Chicago, taxi cabs were everywhere. My entire life growing up, when I worked downtown as a kid in my 20s, or when I was in college and, in a downtown area, you could get anywhere you wanted to go simply by just raising your hand, and a car would pull up and you just get in. It was easy. It was quick. So I kind of took using taxis for granted. And I'd been here in Dallas for a few years, and we went back to Chicago. I think it was for a White Sox Cubs game. And I brought a girlfriend, and I was out in a bar with a bunch of my buddies from home, and my girlfriend was tired, right? She was like, I want to go home. And I'm having fun. I'm hanging out with my friends who I haven't seen in a while. And we were just about, half a mile from the hotel. And she said, the girl that I was with, and I know this sounds bad, but she said, look, I'm really tired, but I don't want to, you're having fun. You haven't seen these guys in a long time. I'm going to go back to the hotel. I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to order a little food. I'm going to relax. You stay out here. You have fun with your friends. To me, that sounds like a cool girlfriend. Now, granted, you should have gone with her. Oh, shut up. I hadn't seen these guys in years. They were my buddies. So, she goes, I go, how are we getting you back to the hotel? It's not that far. And she goes, well, I can somebody give me a ride? I go, just take a cab. This was a girl who was born and raised in Dallas. I go, just take a cab. And she was like, what? No way. I am not getting in a car with a straight. And I thought, like I said, I had taken it for granted because I don't ever think about a danger of getting into a taxi cab because it's just the way it is. There's so many. Taxi pulls up, you get in, it takes you where, no muss, no fuss. But here was somebody who didn't have that familiarity with the experience of taking a taxi cab, and she was legitimately freaked out by it. So you know what I did? I jumped in the cab with her. I went back to my friends, got her at a hotel. See, I can do the right thing when push comes to shove. She said that she was a little, but that always stuck with me. It always stuck with me that, wow, this is just, she's not wrong for being a little bit uncomfortable with getting into a taxi cab with a stranger. I don't worry about it because I don't consider it, because I take the action for granted. But here you go. You got somebody. 75% of people between the ages of 25 or 24 and 34, 25 and 34, say that riding in a taxi or riding in a ride share with someone they don't know is a very big concern for them. I hadn't really considered that. Conducted by one poll on behalf of Arlo, the survey asked respondents what tips and tricks they use to make themselves feel safer and found 56% share their location with someone just in case. Gen Z and millennial respondents were most likely to use this tactic, with 62% of those between 18 and 24 and 65% between 25 and 34 sharing their location with somebody. Respondents also revealed the top things they'll have on their person for safety and peace of mind while traveling. The most popular item, pepper spray. 40% have pepper spray. And a personal safety app on their phone. 40% have that. 1 in 3 respondents have an alert button or device, as well as a self-defense keychain. What's a self-defense keychain? Is that the thing that makes noise? Weep, 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 weep. That whole thing. Oh, who's this guy? We got to ban somebody from the chat. Hold on. We'll ban this mofo. We're going to get rid of you. Okay. There we go. Sorry. All right, there you go. Study finds. So everybody's scared. I'm not scared. I don't know. I'm not scared every day. I do things like, because of the world that we live in, I do things now without even thinking about it. When I walk into a place, any place that I walk into, and I've talked about this before, one of the first things I always do is I say, okay, all right, so here I am. I just walked into the Kroger. Where am I going? Where the shit hits the fan, where am I going? Let me just look around here. Let me see, where are the exits? Where is the escape? If the shooting starts at the front of the store, where I can run to the back and there's probably an exit there. I always do that. I do that in clubs. I do that in bars. I do that in theaters. Everything. And I don't even think about it. It's just natural. I'll go in and I'll sit down and be like, okay, so shit hits the fan. Where am I going? How am I getting out of here? What is my plan? Maybe that is a degree. Maybe that's fear. Maybe that would fall under, because it is a concern. It is something that I plan for, so I must have some concern. I don't know if it's necessarily a fear, but yeah. Moving out is trending. Moving out is trending. Moving out. I'm moving out. Bye-bye San Francisco. The top 7 U.S. cities home buyers are seeking to leave. You ready for this? All right, here are the cities in America where people they're leaving. They're leaving. Let's go. Number 7. These are the top. Yeah, why'd they only give you 7? Number 7 city in America that people are leaving. They're getting the hell out of. Number 7, Detroit. Boston is number 6. Seattle is number 5. Washington, D.C. is number 4. New York City, number 3. Los Angeles, California is number 2. And San Francisco, California, number 1. Those are the 7 cities. Here are the top 7 cities prospective homebuyers are seeking to leave. This according to Redfin. Detroit, Boston, Seattle, Washington, D.C., New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco are the cities that are seeing the most people leave. Let's see here. All right. Denver, Minneapolis, and Philadelphia round out the list top 10. Okay, how about the cities where people are moving to? The cities with the most net outflow are the ones people most want to leave, according to the report. Correspondingly, these cities are the ones with the most net inflow, which means people are looking to move to these cities. The number 1 city in America where people are moving to. So if San Francisco is the number 1 city in America they're moving from, the number 1 city in America people are moving to, Miami, Florida. No taxes, sun, and at least 10 years of solid ground left. I don't know how much I don't know if you'll get another 50 years out of Miami, at least how it's constituted currently. Pretty sure it's going to be underwater in a few years. But there you go. Miami, number one. Number two, Tampa, Florida. People love the no taxes. Ooh, Miami and Tampa. Ooh, boy. These places, Florida. You better look out, Florida. I'm just saying, getting all these New Yorkers, getting all these San Franciscans, getting all of these people, getting all these libs, getting all these liberals moving down there to Miami and Texas. Same here with Texas. I had a conversation a couple weeks ago with a guy who's like, well, I just don't like all the liberals moving here. I'm like, well, hey, no taxes. Liberals like no taxes too. Tampa is number two. Phoenix, Arizona. That's right. Let's fill up Arizona with some liberals too. Phoenix, Arizona is 3. Sacramento, California is 4. How is people are leaving San Francisco, but they're moving to Sacramento? Okay. Sacramento is number 4. Number 5 on the cities that people are moving to, Las Vegas. Number 6, Cape Coral, Florida. Number 7, San Diego, California. Number 8 city that people are moving to, Northport, Florida. Northport. What happened? Something happened in Northport, right? Something happened. Is Northport where the condo collapsed? Remember the building that collapsed like a year and a half ago in Florida? Where's Northport? Why do I know Northport? San Antonio, Texas comes in at number 9 in the cities that people are moving to, and coming in at number 10. All right, yeah. Dallas, Texas, number 10 city that people are moving to. Ooh, moving all these northern libs in here. Gonna get that blue wave going. A lot of concern. There's some my more staunchly right-wing friends have some big concerns about all these people moving here. And as I tell them, oh, you should. Oh, you should. Because they ain't moving here thinking like you. They're moving here and they're going to start voting here, and they don't think like you, Bufus. Sorry. Florida, California, and Texas each have multiple cities on the list, perhaps indicating an American craving for warm weather, particularly midsummer. Florida is a particularly popular destination, occupying 4 of the top 10 spots. JBM, my son just moved from Dallas to Chicago this weekend. Well, Chicago's seeing a lot of erosion too. If we'd have gone a top 20, we'd have seen Chicago's name pop up in there as well. So your son, JBM, is doing the direct opposite. Most people would be moving from Chicago to Dallas, like I did it. Byron says, and the women that are coming will get the blue balls rolling. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Let's see. Look at this. I didn't think we'd get a full 2 hours in today, and now we're already. Is there anything that I've missed? There's not. You know what? Let's jump in. Let's do this real quick. I like to do this with Twitter because Twitter is always the good one for the end of the show. Let's see what people are talking about in real time right now on Twitter. What is trending? Jim Harbaugh is trending. What's he trending about? He was trending the other day because he went to some right to life rally. And people are like, hey, my football coach can't be right to life. Oh, shut up. Why do you even care what your he's your football coach. Can he call an appropriate play at the appropriate moment? That's really all you should be concerned about with your football coach. But I don't want to root for a coach who's pro-life. Oh, you suck. Go root for something. Hate that. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh is trending. Jim Harbaugh told Gino at ESPN that he and his wife, Sarah, will raise that baby should someone in his family or program be involved with an unplanned pregnancy and doesn't feel like they can take care of the child. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is interesting. So Jim Harbaugh is saying, let's just say that one of his players knocks up a cheerleader, right? And the cheerleader wants an abortion. Jim Harbaugh is saying, nope, that's not going to happen on my watch. I'm going to raise that baby. My wife and I will take. Well, it's nice. Jim Harbaugh's like, he's going to be close to $100 millionaire, right? I mean, I mean, Mel Tucker at Michigan State makes $100 million a year. So I got to assume Jim Harbaugh, at least on his next contract, is going to make $100 million a year. So, yeah, so good, Jim. Start the Harbaugh orphanage right there on your property in Ann Arbor or wherever the hell it is that you're living. Good for you. That is good. If you are serious about it, if you are serious about being willing to rate, good. We should all be that great. That's a wonderful thing. What happens when like 15 of your players knock up girls all in the same season and they all take you up on it? I don't know. We'll check back in with you then. That's why Jim Harbaugh is trending. I don't give, I mean, people that occupy slots in my life that I need them to, like my football coach, my tight end, my DH, all of these things that have nothing to do with politics or social issues. All of these things that we have, let's not let their politics ruin all. Jim Harbaugh. If you're a Michigan fan and you like Jim Harbaugh as a football coach, your fandom for University of Michigan football should not be affected at all by what the coach just happens to think about right to life issues. It's just so stupid. People, Anyway, John Cena is trending. John Cena is officially coming to Fortnite. Oh, how exciting. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what that means, but if you do know what that means, John Cena is coming to Fortnite. Okay. See what else is trending here. Trending number 1, National Auntie-Anne's Day. That was national. What is this, a commercial? Twitter, what are you doing? You taking money for putting people at number 1 on trends? Why is National Auntie... Moving on. Tony Dow is trending. We talked about him. Wally Cleaver, he passed away. Ian Rappaport is reporting that Chris Carson of the Seahawks. Hold on, wait, let me pull it up. Why is Chris Carson trending? He's with the Seahawks. They're running back. Where is it? Oh, okay, here it is. Seahawks running back Chris Carson is retiring from the NFL due to a neck injury, sources say. Seattle will officially release him with a failed physical designation under the CBA that allows Carson to then receive that will allow Carson to receive several million in injury protection benefits. Okay, very good. Aaron Rodgers is trending. I hate the Packers, so we'll move on. Hulu is trending. We talked about that. John Roberts is trending. CNN reports Chief Justice John Roberts privately lobbied his fellow conservatives to save the right to abortion vote until the end. An unprecedented leak sealed its fate. So basically, Roberts, remember the leak? We had the abortion leak a couple of months ago, and then we saw it all come to fruition over the past, week or so. 2 weeks, I guess. So a couple of months back, there was a leak from the Supreme Court that said that the Supreme Court was going to overturn Roe versus Wade. And then there was all this, who leaked it? Oh, this is terrible. So what we're learning now is that John Roberts didn't want the leak. John Roberts wanted nobody to be talking about their plans for Roe versus Wade until they did it. But the leak kind of changed that. What else do we have? Tuesday Vibe. Bo Cruz, free agent forward Juancho. Okay, never mind. Too hard. Jerry Jones is trending. Why is Jerry Jones trending? Jerry Jones is trending. This being posted by Jory Epstein. And we're off. Cowboys State of the Union is underway with Jerry Jones, Stephen, and Mike McCarthy. All right. Trey Lance. Alex Jones. Let me click on Alex Jones. Let me see what the absolute latest is in the Alex Jones thing. Because they're going to determine how much of his great wealth he's got to give to the Sandy Hook families for being a monster. Jury selected. Okay, so I don't know what that is. Never mind. Who cares? Alex Jones. God, what a piece of shit. Okay, so let's see. What else do we have? Anything else that needs to be mentioned? No. Nope, that's it. Okay, folks, we did it. We made it through an entire. We got 2 hours out of it. Well, very good. I didn't think we were going to get a full 2 hours. I really didn't. I'm glad that we did. We'll be back in a few hours, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. We do that. Oh, man. What is my kids listening to? My kid is at football camp and he is listening to music. I couldn't listen to music at football camp. I don't know what's going on there. So I'm going to have to take control. Yeah. Right now he's... I just think it's funny that my kid is wearing headphones right now doing something, I don't know, in 103 degree temperatures, probably busting his ass. And he's got some Metallica going in his headphones and he's getting into the whole, he's a meathead. He's a meatball offensive lineman kind of kid. I mean, he's going hard in that direction. So he's got the headphones and he's probably lifting weights and, you know, it's Enter Sandman is playing and it's really getting him all jacked up. And then this. It suddenly just changes to this. Helmet to be. Tip the show if you can, folks. We're in trouble around here. If you can drop a tip, Venmo, Cash App, whatever. Treat me like your bartender, your barista. 26 for 5 days. 5 days. All right. We'll be back tonight. At 9 o'clock. Cheryl, hold on, Cheryl. You got a question for me. Pugs, do you know Thomas Ireland? He is my son's friend from Regina, Saskatchewan, and was drafted to the Texas Rangers. Well, I don't, Cheryl. I do not know your son's friend, Thomas Ireland, but I hope to. I hope to one day know that name, and then I'll remember. I'll go, oh, that's the kid that Cheryl in the chat room told me about. JBM raises a good point concerning Jim Harbaugh's willingness to adopt and raise all of the bastard children that his football players, create, I guess. I guess we'd say that. JBM says there's a ton of kids in foster systems that the Harbaughs could start with. Yeah, that's true. You could. Yeah. A whole bunch of kids out there who need a good person to love them and care for them, nurture them, give them the best of whatever it is that you have to give a child. There are plenty of kids. Oh, but those kids are like 8 and 9 and they're not cute anymore. So forget about it. 13. I don't want a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old's already formed. I want a baby. All right. Like I said, tip the show if you can. Who is this guy? Hold on. Harbaugh's bastards. Yeah, that is a great. Will there be a Harbaugh's bastard section there at the big house, Byron? Hey, Ed, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So are you looking at the chat room if you happen to have it up?
No, but I can in a moment.
How do I get rid of this guy? Bitinvest.xyz. I've blocked him on Restream. I have blocked him on... I don't... He keeps coming back. I can't get rid of him. And when I block him on Restream, it says, oops, something went wrong.
Is he coming right through? Is he coming from YouTube?
Yes, he's coming from YouTube. Yeah.
I'll go right onto YouTube and I'll do it directly.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Appreciate it. There he goes. He's the boss around here. That's Ed. I thought I blocked that dude earlier, and then he popped back in. I mean, hey, I'll take whoever we can get around here, but I don't need that stuff. I learned how to do it. I learned how to block and ban these people, but for some reason, this guy's good. This guy is good. He's got moves. I'm not farting. By the way, that move right there, that wasn't me farting. It's my shirt is tucked under me. I'm trying to pull my shirt up. Things are going good. That is understood. All right, bye, everybody. Love you. See you tonight at 9 o'clock for Pugs and Parker. Proudly present Pillow Talk. Right on this place. Bye, 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 bye. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.